Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Candace with Beyond the Veil Tarot and Divination. I'm here to give you your January 2019 overview with horoscopes and tarot predictions for all 12 signs. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe, check me out. For those of you guys who have stayed with me for a while, I took a bit of a hiatus, so this is my resolution, my attempt to come back and to start being a little bit better about doing these monthly videos. So I've got some new toys and some things that I'm going to try out in these videos. In just a second, I'm actually going to hop over to my Astrological software, and you guys will be able to kind of hear me talk, and it'll be a little bit of a voiceover for the month ahead looking at the transits. You guys have any questions, comments, feel free to do so below. Otherwise, if you're interested in getting a personal reading with me, please check out beyondtheveiltarot.com. I do a combination of clairvoyant as well as tarot and astrological readings. But I'm very excited for this. So in just a second, I'm going to switch over to that image so you guys can see that. If you want, you're more than welcome to grab a paper and pen to take some notes, and do stay tuned because I am going to go through each and every individual one of the zodiac signs towards the end. So usually people are pretty good about time stamping those. If I can do it, I'll do it for you guys too. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So this is the obviously the January 2019 overview. Basically, we're going to go throughout the next month and just kind of take a look at what we've got going on. First things first, if I'm kind of starting off with referencing my last video, the beginning of this month really is pretty jam-packed, primarily because, number one, we've got a lot of planets that are in their respective ruling signs. Number two, also because we are coming back into eclipse season. So there's going to be a lot more eclipse stuff happening. And that's going to be kicking off on January the 5th. But for starters, here we have Mars in Aries. And so as of the 1st, moving into Aries, pretty strong placement. This is really good for getting things up and moving, really great for a lot of people to have a lot of energy behind them, to be able to start new exercise routines, really self-starting type energy, really good. Even though, yes, there are going to be some challenges to some other signs, Mars is going to prospectively spend really like the next couple of weeks being in Aries, and it can really pack quite a punch. But besides that, the one other thing that we're really looking at is this eclipse that's going to be coming on the 5th. And it's quite a doozy. This is going to be a new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn, okay? So basically, eclipses are major cosmic portals where things end and things begin. All right, so here we are on January the 5th. We've got the new moon right here that's just chilling in Capricorn. All right, so what is a new moon? It's a new beginning. We're planting seeds. We're doing something new. And I call this the getting down to business eclipse, because look at all this energy that we have here in Capricorn. All right, we've got Saturn, which is responsibility, lessons, limitations, moon, which is our emotional consciousness, the sun, which is the I am, this is what I'm doing, bringing energy and light to things, Pluto, which is transformation, and the South Node, which represents dealing with karma, things from the past. All right, so all of those placements together is definitely creating a very somber, first couple days of the year. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's literally 30 minutes to New Year's Day. So it's, around 11:40 p.m. right now on the 31st. And what am I doing? I'm working. So I wanted to get these videos out, and I'm like, you know what? It's a Sun Saturn day tomorrow. I just got to put my money where my mouth is, and I got to get this out there. So this is the kind of energy that I'm talking about. It's getting down to business. But on the 5th, we're going to see all of this polarity between placements that are in Cancer. And so it literally is, am I, doing enough work? There's this balance between the fourth house, which is, the family, the home base, Cancer energy, where the North Node is. And then we've also got the 10th house, which is more our responsibilities out in the world. And so I'm feeling it because I'm at home working. But I also feel like I'm okay with that energy. It's me learning how to balance both of these. So you guys may be noticing similar situations, especially, we feel eclipses about a month prior. So this isn't anything new. Maybe it's just starting to ramp up now going into the new year, but it's definitely a time that is about getting back down to business. And what's interesting is the beginning of the month, we become more aware of the necessary tasks and resolutions at hand than we have in recent years. Whenever the sun comes in to Capricorn, we kind of notice, okay, this is where we need to be a little bit more serious or a little bit more somber. But, the good news is that 2019, especially the first couple months, is very much supported by the universe. Okay, there's a lot of good things going on. We're not in a retrograde. We've got a lot of planets in their ruling sign. This particular eclipse it's not so gentle. It's like right between the eyes, tough love energy. And many of us are going to be going in and out of like intense doses of reality and feeling like, ooh, okay, well, I guess I got to climb that hill. But with all eclipses, remember this, people come and go. All right, so there can be issues with grief, loss, new beginnings. These are best handled with yoga, going hiking, or connecting to an earth element. But, take note of whatever's going on right now, because I promise you, whatever is coming up, especially for this eclipse, is coming up for a good reason. All right, guys, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. So new moons, new intention. You might want to schedule your schedules a little bit lighter around the 5th. And then again, we're going to have another one later at the month on the 21st. But I just wanted to get to this first. So then going into, excuse me, the 10th of the month is going to get kind of colorful, because then we're going to be seeing that, we're going to have Sun becoming conjunct with Pluto. So let me hop on over to here. And let's get the 2019 transits up. Here we go. So what was I saying? All right, cool. The 10th of the month. So here we are, January the 10th. So Sun-Pluto conjunction at 20 degrees right here. All right, of Capricorn. All right, that's a really intense day. But it's at 20 degrees, which is, that's a Scorpio degree. So this is about transformation. I also see this as a day of reckoning. Quite interesting that at the same time, we also are having the moon conjunct Neptune. So we're certainly going to see collectively a lot of like, oh, what's going to happen? What's coming? Type of energy. Moving on to then the 16th of the month. Here we go. We've got the Sun conjunct the South Node in Capricorn. Now you can't see it because my program's a little bit bunched, but right there, 26 degrees. The South Node Sun conjunction can represent some loss of power, perhaps. Stubborn people, stubborn interactions, confrontations, reactions due to fear of loss of power specifically. There can be some financial disruptions, especially in other places of the world. The nice thing that I like is that, we do have Venus that is building into a conjunction with Jupiter. So there is some silver linings somewhere in here. But this day in particular, really, really pay attention. Because, the Jupiter-Venus conjunction is going to be squaring Neptune, all right, in Pisces. So pretty much today through the 20th, there can be turbulence. Sun and the South Node in Capricorn squaring Uranus in the final degrees of Aries, right over here. Okay, can definitely bring up some very intense, kind of fearful type energy. But like I said, it's only happening for a couple days. I have a feeling it's going to be more so kind of on the political spectrum. That's just me personally. But it is going to be something that we are going to be feeling collectively. Okay? So let's hop back over to the eclipse that we have on the 20th. This one I talked a little bit about in my last video about this eclipse being at a 0 degree. Okay, now the 0 degree stuff, here we go, representing something that's new. 0 degree, 0 degree. When we have this opposition, this is what we consider to be a full moon. What's interesting about this is that when we have things at 0 degrees, it's a new beginning. We're working on something new. There's something that's going on that's kind of brewing. And recently we had, the South Node leave Aquarius, the North Node leave Cancer. So in a way, it's like the universe going, did you wrap everything up? Did you learn everything? I think the other thing that's kind of cool is that this will be very passionate. There's a lot of fire going on in the skies. We've got these really nice trines that are kind of picking up here between Mars and also between Jupiter and Venus. So there's a lot of passion. But it's inspiring, whenever we have anything going on in Aquarius and in Leo, it's like we are being put somewhere on the world stage and we're asking ourselves, do we want to be an actor or a reactor? Are we being dramatic, or are we looking to be somebody who is going to create the change that we want to see in the world? So finishing up what's happened over the past year and a half with the nodal changes, the only hang up that I'm really seeing is that there is definitely some squares going on between Mars and Saturn. This is a hard angle. That's a square. That's no fun. So at times you might kind of feel like, there are some conflicts with authority figures or responsibilities in our lives, and we're feeling like we're being kind of kept on a short leash, or somebody's being overbearing. We've got a boss breathing down our neck, or a parent, or a professor, or a cop. But regardless of what's going on, the key is to keep chugging along and let love be a factor in everything that you do that entire week. Things get a little bit easier once we get into the 22nd through the end of the month. On the 22nd, Jupiter and Venus create their grand conjunction at 16 degrees, and they will also be trining Mars exactly in Aries. So that's the trine that I was kind of talking about. This is going to bring lots and lots of love and passion. A grand fire trine will be happening earlier in that day as the moon progresses into Leo, and things move very quick. Okay? The 29th, the sun in Aquarius will be conjunct Mercury in Aquarius at 9 degrees. This will be an interesting time where there's going to be a lot of text messages, a lot of communication, a lot of going back and forth with people. There's definitely going to be, to some extent, opportunities for unity because it will be at a 9 degree. And I think that there is going to be some major headlines going on in the world around the 29th. Somewhere along the way, we are noticing that we're able to come together in a different way. So that's kind of the overview for January. I do want to kind of check in really quick, and I want to go and then plug in all of the different cards and give you guys kind of a brief horoscope for each sign. All right, so for starters, we have Aries. So the big news is that your ruling planet Mars is going into your sign. You should be feeling really active, really confident. There can be a lot of movement going on this month. There can be a lot of stuff that's going on where you're feeling really inclined to stick to resolutions, and you'll make sure that they stick. So if you're feeling a little bit more active, find an outlet for that. The other thing that I've got is that the solar eclipse that's coming on the 5th is actually going to be in your career sector. So a lot of things are happening in your career. You really want to make sure that you're ready. The question is like, do you really like what you're doing? Do you enjoy your job? Because some jobs will come and some jobs may go. The important thing is to be aware of how everything makes you feel. Okay, so if you're ready to take the jump, maybe you're wanting to do some reading up on some new paths, you're wanting to do something different, or educating yourself about self-promotion in some way, that can be really positive. Romantic connections can definitely be made, somewhere where you're going and expressing yourself, okay? And it'll happen when you least expect it. So really kind of keep your eyes open, especially towards the second half of the month. Take some time to have fun around the 21st. That's going to be the full moon lunar eclipse. It's asking you to indulge and do something creative, to do something fun, okay? So this month is all about learning a little bit more about your work-life balance, basically. So let's kind of pull a card and see what Aries focus is going to be for the month ahead. All right, so the card that we get here is, the Empress. Okay, it might be reversed, sorry. I'm watching myself film this. The Empress card is about Venus. The Empress card is about giving birth to something new, to a new project. It can be about an enterprise. It can be about Venus. It can be about making money. But I see the Empress card it's interesting. It's like reflecting back to once again, that North Node in Cancer. It's what are you nurturing? What are you focused on? What do you love? What do you love the most? That's definitely something that I would be asking myself right now, because I think that the Empress is saying, okay, in order to make it happen, we have to kind of find a way to give birth to this project. Divine Feminine is something else that kind of comes up for this card as well. So it can be about mothers, it can be about the home, it can be about what you're creating. All right, so keep that in the back of your mind. Next we have is Taurus. So Taurus, you may find yourself doing a lot more work behind the scenes this month. The beginning of the month, physically and mentally, it's kind of like hurry up and wait. A lot of I think probably your New Year stuff, you're really going to start feeling it a lot closer to February. Meditation and visualization are going to be key this month. The eclipse, it's really shaking things up and helping you expand your horizons. Okay, that's really what I've got for the notes for you. Many of you guys are planning trips, considering maybe a new type or a new form of education. This is very spiritual, as the ninth house is opening up your perspective and your view in the world, and you're feeling a little bit more optimistic. You may be having your mind on forms of writing or teaching or publishing. This is a big communication month. So pay close attention to where your mind is going, who you're talking to. Venus is also visiting your house of relationships. And so it's really important to be bringing in positive and loving interactions with other people. People are going to be very generous with you this month. All right, Taurus. And so the key is to be very gracious and accepting of what people give you. The eclipse on the 21st is bringing up themes of your home life and maybe potential moves. Some of you guys might be freaking out and being like, oh my God, what's going to go on? What's happening? What I would say is just don't panic, hold tight and wait until you get all of the information and all of the details. Your career will be a major focus at the end of January. And there is a possibility that you're playing around with the idea of going in a new direction. So kind of keep that in mind as well. The card that I got for you is actually the World. That's an excellent card. Once again, it's interesting because in this deck, it's a little bit different. But we've got the time of, we've got Taurus, we've got Leo, we've got Scorpio, and we've got Aquarius. So it's talking about the fixed parts of the wheel and how the wheel moves. And I think it is talking about waiting until we get into Aquarius, until maybe you're going to feel a little bit more of something new starting. I also think that this is kind of saying the wheel is turning, good things are coming to you. The World is about completions. It's about bringing in something new horizons, feeling very happy with whatever is coming to a close because it's starting everything over. That's the last card of the major arcana deck. So it's getting ready to start off on a new adventure. But look for that to be happening closer to the time of when the sun is in Aquarius, is what I would say to you. All right. So for Gemini, something is stirring within you, all right? And it requires change on your end. If friends have been a bit of a drag, or maybe you're feeling like, okay, I got to switch up my friend groups, then definitely do it, because Mars is activating your house that has to do with friendships. So if you've been closely examining your need also for security, both financially and in relationships, this can be coming up for you as well. Also, there's like already cards jumping out for you guys, so I'll read that in a second. But you know, security is an interesting theme this month, and whether it's the security that you need financially or the security that you need from a partner, you're really going to be thinking about this, because the new moon, the solar eclipse, it's asking you to dive really deep and to do some psychological investigating, and find out, you know, what's missing. What is it that you need? This is taking place in the house that has to do with death, sex, and finances. It's about rebirth. So any of these topics can be uncovered, you know, this month. You can be finding things that maybe you never even were aware were going on beneath the surface. It's possible that somebody may talk to you about investing in a project or investing in something new that you're wanting to start business-wise. So pay close attention for that. Like, people in existing relationships, they will be fine. They're going to level up is what I think is going to happen. And those of you guys, you know, who are single, it's very likely that you could meet somebody this month. So pay attention. The full moon on the 21st, this eclipse, is all about how you communicate and how you express yourself. And part of this self-expression is learning how to listen. And so one thing I would say is that when you put learning how to listen and communicating well together, and you can utilize these two strengths at the same time and put it to good use, I think that you're going to be feeling a little bit more at peace this month. The card that kept jumping out of the deck over and over and over again, like 3 times, was the Knight of Wands. So this is a card that talks about being like, okay, hurry up and go. You know, don't think, just do it. Jumping into action, jumping into something. This can be about a new creative project. This can be physically going somewhere, because Knights are dedicated to their cause. So this can also be somebody who is encouraging you to get moving on a project, and not having a lot of time, just reacting. It's not a bad card, but it's important to really pay attention and not be getting totally, you know, ahead of yourself, because that can definitely happen. For Cancer, interesting. So the new moon, the solar eclipse, it's lighting up your house that has to do with relationships, okay? And it's giving you an opportunity to really look at, is there a possibility for a new beginning in my relationships? You know, is there? Because it's an important time to really move away from the past and let go of any insecurities from past relationship issues, whether this is a problem in an existing relationship and finally letting it go, or if this is like moving on from insecurities from past relationships that are holding you back from being able to like really be able to be in a relationship now. So this is wiping the slate clean. A big part of relationships is about being in alignment with yourself. And I do not see 2019 as a year where you're going to be able to still feel helpless or emotionally stuck to the past. Jupiter and Venus want to also have you pay better attention to your health and your wellness. Okay, so work situations, they're apt to change a little bit in a way that gives you more flexibility and more leniency. So some of you guys are going to see changes in your schedules, and the key is to not panic when these changes happen. It's really to give you a little bit more breathing room, whether it's being able to work from home more, or being able to move into a bigger office, or paying better attention to your health and to your diet. These are all big pieces of the puzzle this month, okay? Now, perhaps also the other thing that's going to kind of come up is with the full moon lunar eclipse in your house of income, you are going to be asking yourself to take a second look at your finances. And so finances will be a pivotal moment at the end of the month. Something will potentially be changing in regards to your finances. And the key is to really listen and tune in, because I see your finances being connected to your self-worth. Okay? So a budget shakeup might need to happen for you to achieve your financial goal. The good news is that there's new streams of income that are now becoming possible. So if you're willing to give up old patterns, you know, and pay very close attention to your intuition, it's very possible that new ways of making money and new streams of income or revenue can come in at the end of the month. But something about like the end of the month, like closer to like the 28th, 29th, 30th, really pay attention to your gut. And it's interesting because I actually accidentally pulled two cards. The first card that I pulled was the Seven of Swords. Okay. And this is a card that's like, whoa, who's running off and taking off with my goods? You see he's got the 2 here that he forgot about, and then he's got the other 5 or so that he's carrying. Okay. And this is the card of the trickster. This is the card of somebody taking something and you're, swindling you or stealing or lying sometimes, or not everything is what it seems. But then the card that I also pulled was the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. And so I think this is not only talking about what has happened in the past with feeling like people maybe took a piece of your heart, took a piece of your wallet, took something that has really affected your ability to feel secure. And the Wheel of Fortune is saying, we're going to bring something new in. We're going to give you some good luck. The Wheel of Fortune was upright. So it's giving you something new, but it's also saying to you that you need to really pay attention and you need to let go of any patterns of reacting in a certain way, because the history is not always going to repeat itself. So you have to trust. Okay. All right. So now moving on to Leo. So for Leos, there is a lot more reorganizing, getting things ready for work this month than usual. And this seems to be a lot of Leo risings have been complaining about this recently, but it seems to me like there's going to be a promotion, there's going to be a positive change coming here soon, or a positive change in the status of your career. The new moon solar eclipse is majorly shaking things up in terms of where you are working. So if you're having changes in location, don't worry. Let's say your office is having to relocate, or let's say you have to find a new place to work. Don't worry about it. It's a part of the plan. Just be sure to help other people who need help in this process. That's a big piece of the puzzle. This is also an excellent time to be really paying attention to your health and your diet. Making changes, maybe cutting back on certain foods, adding some new physical activity that's on your list can be really positive. Use this as a time to re-energize your routine. The house of romance, your house of romance, is majorly expanding. It's very possible that some of you guys are feeling very much in love this month. Spend some extra time also on a creative hobby. And it might actually open something up for you where it's like, it feels therapeutic, and then you start doing it and you're like, whoa, I can make money off of this, or in some way it can prove to be lucrative. Around the 21st, the full moon lunar eclipse is in your sign, bringing all of the attention back to you, Leo. The key here is, you're going to probably be a little bit more emotional than usual. So if that's the case, you're becoming hyper aware of what's changing in you and how you're changing and how you're kind of evolving. Your style may change, your hair may change in some way. Maybe you buy some new clothes. I think it's all welcomed. All these changes are really good. But wrapping up around the end of the month, there's going to be a lot of talks about relationships and whether or not you're ready to take the next step with somebody. So be aware of that and be really open to what comes up at that time. The card that I get for you is Justice. So definitely a card that talks about relationships. It's a Libra card. It's balance. It's the reflection. When I see that card, it's kind of like monkey see, monkey do. So if you're seeing things in the relationship that you don't like, you have to look at yourself. If you're seeing things where you want the relationship to expand, or if you're wanting more from someone you're working with, then you got to put more out there. This is about balancing those scales. But all in all, the Justice card is actually a great card for you to be pulling up. It indicates that some of you guys might be actually moving into more serious relationships. Now moving on to Virgo. So Virgo, romance is definitely on your mind this month. There is a lot of creative energy that's kind of bursting at the seams. The new moon solar eclipse is bringing in themes of creativity, self-employment, babies, children. It's really lighting up that 5th house for you guys. Perhaps you're giving birth to a new creative project. Maybe you're in the preliminary stages of this. It's just starting right now. Don't fear showing your true talents to the world. That's the one thing that I would tell you. If you're looking to start your own business or become self-employed, it's very possible that now is a good time. The important thing is to seek pleasure in everything that you're doing. Don't do anything that you're not thoroughly enjoying. Take the necessary steps to better prepare yourself to love what you're doing every day. If that's your motto, you're going to find that the next couple of months are going to get a whole lot easier for you. It's possible that you're connecting more with your family, with Jupiter being in your 4th house, and Venus being there as well. So decorating your space can be really nice. Picking up some new furniture, some new textiles, some art for your home can be amazing. Also, your intuition is pretty bang on this month. So really pay attention. If something feels off, you have to listen to it. The full moon lunar eclipse is in your house of work and health. So it seems like you're really sticking to any New Year's resolutions and you're much better kind of in tune with what's going on with what your body needs right now. Okay. Interestingly enough, the card that I got for you is the Hierophant. Okay. And so I kind of see this as like going and like talking to someone, going and getting your, it's like somebody giving you advice or somebody counseling you. The Hierophant can also be talking about your place in society and what people are expecting of you. And so when I start seeing these eclipses in the 5th house, it starts to make me wonder, like, how many Virgos or Virgo risings are starting to look around and go, am I supposed to be having a kid? Or am I supposed to be getting married? Am I supposed to be settling down? And with Jupiter in your 4th house, some of you may be doing that. Some of you, not all of you. Virgos are going to panic because to some extent, some of you guys feel like you're constantly in a state of still developing and perfecting things. But I also feel like some of you guys are moving more in the direction of making some major life changes and kind of taking your place in society. And so if somebody is giving you advice about that, or if you're seeking advice from someone, the Hierophant can be somebody who's really wise, who shows up this month, who kind of guides you in that department. Okay. Libra. So for Libra rising, there are some major changes afoot with your emotional foundation. Major. Okay. For starters, many of you guys want to take a closer look at your home and your family situations. The new moon solar eclipse is happening in this area, and it's bringing up any situations that pertain to either your family drama, where you're living, something. And I can just tell you that whatever's going on right now, I promise you, this is coming up to bring whatever sludge is at the bottom up to the top so you can just clear it out and you can have better security in the months ahead. So that's the good thing. Communication seems sweet. It's much easier to communicate this month than it has been in previous months, especially if it involves like traveling plans or talking to your siblings or anything like that, especially if it has to do with traveling. Actually, a lot of that keeps coming up because your 3rd house is really activated. If you're interested in investing in a new electronics or maybe taking a new class, definitely make the investment. On the 20th of the month, there is this eclipse that's happening in your house of friendships, and you may be in the final stages of wrapping up friendships with certain people, or cleaning out friend-wise and kind of feeling like, okay, it's time for me to get rid of some people. Maybe you're outgrowing certain friendships, and if that's the case, it's okay to let those people go. At the end of the month, you'll find yourself meeting new groups of people and having fun, and I would say go and see performances on stage. Go to a movie, go to a play, go to a concert, go somewhere where there is going to be a lot of action and a lot of creativity. Take charge this month also and allow yourself to find a nice work-life balance, because there's so much seriousness going on at home, whether it's your family where you're living, whether it's somebody who's sick and you're having to take care of a family member, or maybe you're just so bogged down with working at home that you really need to get out this month and you need to go and do things. So it's important for you to kind of find that balance. Okay. All right. So let's see what comes up for Libra. Okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's good. There's a couple that jumped out here. So the first thing that actually kind of jumped up was the 7 of Coins. Okay. And I see this as a card where it's weighing the options. It's like, I don't want to waste my time. Okay. And for a lot of Libras and Libra risings, because they've been so bogged down with Saturn. It's like, I don't want to waste my time. I don't have time for that. And really kind of deciding about where you're planting your seeds. So what I would say with this is, you know, try not to take things too seriously. Okay, try. The other card that kind of popped out also was the Knight of Cups. Okay. And so these energies are funny because the Seven of Coins is a little bit more like I said, don't want to waste my time. But the Knight of Cups is like somebody who's kind of dreamy and whimsical and anything is possible and really enjoying themselves and kind of poetic. And so really it's saying, don't get so caught up in the time aspect of things. Allow yourself to invest in what makes you emotionally happy, what makes you emotionally fulfilled. If somebody shows up and says, hey, you've been working too much, come on, come have fun, go out to dinner with me, have a drink, you know, come and do something, I would say go. Because it's going to be something that's going to kind of alleviate some of the stress that's maybe been going on at home. For Scorpio, this month is putting a real spotlight in communication with other people, okay? And so especially in areas that have to do with like contracts or education, siblings, the solar eclipse is lighting this up for you and having you really put in the work in a good way. Pay extra close attention to travel or vehicles at this time. It can be more challenging than usual. Networking is very powerful. You know, the connections that you're making to people right now can definitely open up your career sphere. And you may be picking up some extra skills business-wise or doing some work in the internet. If that's the case, you know, mentally, it sounds like there's going to be a lot going on around you. So pay attention to what's important this month. You know, if you need to keep on track, journaling or getting a calendar could be an excellent way for you to do this. But both Jupiter and Venus are helping you really expand your financial outlook. So the key here is to not overdo it. Don't overspend. Focus on staying within a budget, not being too overly enthusiastic about a potential boost in your income. You know, if you really have to splurge and you have to buy something, like go and buy a new fragrance or some clothes or a little bit of makeup. Give yourself something that's nice, but don't overdo it. On the 21st, it's something big is coming career-wise. You know, suddenly you might be making a change and going in a different direction. Some of you guys are starting new businesses in this past year, and so now they're really going to begin to expand, and maybe you're spending a little bit of money on self-promotion or on advertising. Just make sure you show up and you're authentic. Like, be yourself. There's no need to be anybody other than you. And align yourself with what feels right for your place in the world. Believe it or not, that will be the most successful. That will sell, my Scorpios. The 10 of Coins, complete fulfillment, planning for the long term. A 10 is a completion. It's about bringing in money, but not just bringing in money. It's creating your livelihood. It's being able to provide for yourself, your family, your business, your future. It's what you're laying out. It's about making money. And it's not just money, but how you're able to create your entire physical, tangible pentacles world. So be you. All right. So now we're going to move on to Sag. Okay, Sag, here's the deal. Pay very close attention to your values this month. All right. Because financially, you're kind of going into a major reset. And the new and solar eclipse is taking place in your house of values. Okay, so it seems like perhaps like previous ways that you've been handling money and your self-worth have not been cutting it. And it's important for you guys not to panic. Just keep moving forward in forward motion. You know, financial like gain is purely a reflection of your self-esteem and how you are utilizing your natural talents and your abilities. Have you fully explored all of the options for how you can make money? That's a question I would ask myself. Do some meditating on that, because you know your values and what's important to you are shifting in a positive way. But Jupiter has you, you know, also within his good graces. Don't forget this. You know, he's linking up with Venus and harmonizing in your sign and can bring you a lot of really good things. So it can be a time where people are more generous with you than usual. Someone may be very attracted to you and like what you're doing, or see that you have artistic abilities, and it's important to put that out on display. The 21st will be bringing you opportunities to publish, maybe take an unexpected trip. There's more of a need for you to connect with people in other places. So that's something else that's kind of interesting too. Plan accordingly is what I would say. If something comes up really quickly, just do what you can to get everything in order to get going. Energy involving children comes up a lot, and having fun, being creative, and being playful, and enjoying yourself at the end of the month. And so I kind of see the beginning of the month as kind of like, ooh, okay, gotta get serious, gotta get down to business. But, you know, what I get towards the end of the month is like, you may decide to go somewhere, I keep seeing this, and work on something, and you might be in the beginning of the month like, this doesn't make sense, but I think you're gonna go. Even if it's just for a couple hours, or if it's for a couple days and you gotta get a getaway, or you're gonna get inspired. So we have the Six of Wands, which is the card of victory, going somewhere, working on something, enjoying yourself, being well received. And then we have the Fool card that jumped out with it. So maybe you need a couple hours or even a couple days to just be like, I need to just go and work on this. If that's how you're feeling, go, because you're starting something new. Something new is coming together. All right. So next we have Capricorn. Capricorn, there are some major plans coming to light for you. And, you know, suddenly it's like you're in the driver's seat and you're capable of having a little bit more control over where you're going or where you're going. The question is like, what are you telling yourself that you're going to achieve? You know, what are you telling yourself? Because this is an excellent time to start having intentions, putting them together and executing them. You know, expect changes to be shifting on an emotional, a spiritual, and a visual level. There can be shifts in how you dress or how you feel and how you present yourself to the world. Your body is going to be a lot more sensitive than usual because of the eclipse that we're having in Capricorn. So it's really important to be really present for your body and paying attention if something is more sensitive than usual, especially if you've been burning the candle at both ends. All right. All right, so the next thing that we've got here is relationships are apt to take a shift in the coming weeks ahead. So it's important to stay calm. People grow together, they grow apart. You know, the more that you're able to honor yourself while staying committed, I think will kind of rebalance your scales a little bit. And so you kind of have to make sure that you're getting what you're putting in, you know. The other thing is that mid-month you have opportunities to do some spiritual work behind the scenes. And so this can be finding your inner peace, taking time to meditate, taking time to rest, taking time to spend time in nature. You know, trust me when I tell you that the universe has your back. I know it's been challenging for a lot of you guys, but I really feel like that, for one, you're protected. Number two, there's getting ready to be some kind of resurfacing of something or someone from the past, okay? And so the important thing to keep in mind is like sometimes the past needs to stay in the past. Like, seriously. There may be more of a sense of family needing you more than usual, okay? There can be some really intense energies happening around the 21st. As this kind of comes to light, just be patient. Be there for family if need be. But don't forget to take care of yourself in the process. You can't keep putting yourself on back burner, okay? All right. So the card that I got for you is the High Priestess. All right, so that's about your vision. That's about what you're picking up. It's your intuition. And with all of this energy kind of happening and swirling around still with a couple planets in your 12th house, you may have a premonition, you may have a dream, you may feel like something is coming. This is about trusting your intuition. This is about trusting omens and paying attention to omens before they show up, especially in a dream state or in a meditation state. And trusting your intuition this month because it's bang on. You know, also the High Priestess, she waits to receive information. She doesn't go out there like running around. She's not like a knight. She's someone who just sits and she waits until it shows up. All right, so keep that in the back of your mind as well. Moving on to Aquarius, definitely you are one of the signs that's going to need some quiet time this month. For reflection, you know, psychologically for you guys, there's a lot happening. And it can take some time because there are shifts happening on subconscious levels that need time to process, okay? So studying healing work or meditation or anything metaphysical can be extra helpful right now. It's like you're in a bit of a gestation period where you don't quite know where you're going, but you're going there quickly. And what I think is that emotionally and mentally, you can kind of be impacted this month, and there's going to be some time definitely needed to take some downtime, to kind of chill behind the scenes. So there's going to be needed more time to process. Some of you guys will be experiencing obviously some endings because of this eclipse that's coming. That's going to be happening in Leo and opposing stuff in Aquarius. I think the other thing is like heed, once again, messages that come to you in a dream. You know, cycles may be ending and you're able to really kind of look at stuff and go, okay, now I can write a new narrative. Not every ending is a bad ending. Leaning on friends is exceptionally important. You know, it's like you always have a ton of friends and that's always continuing to grow, and maybe you're that person that's always giving the support, but this is the month where you need the support. You know, it's about leaning on people and letting them help you fill in the blanks. And they may come from other places. These aren't necessarily friends who are just like right around the corner. These might be people who you email or who you call, and don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, because these people might actually come and be there and kind of come to your rescue, or, you know, hang out with you and want to kind of support you. Leaning on friends is very important this month. The full moon solar eclipse is bringing major changes in your relationships later in the month, so that's part of this as well. New patterns are emerging, you know, giving you a chance to see how intimate and romantic relationships can grow in the next month and months ahead, you know, throughout 2019. After the 21st, you know, the sun shifts into Aquarius, bringing you all that yummy solar energy that you need to kind of, you know, put a little bit more pep in your step. And a much needed sense of renewed energy. But for the first half, I mean, really for most of January, if you're in Aquarius or Aquarius rising, the energy is going to feel a little off, just a little bit. And, you know, the card that I got for you is the Star card. Healing. It's healing. That's the card that comes after the Tower. That's the card after everything kind of falls apart. It's okay, going back to the drawing board, doing the healing, doing the self-work. This is also the card for Aquarius, okay? So this is about being that beacon of light, being that hope, you know, that little first glimmer of, okay, well, this is where we're at, but how can we fix it? How can we heal? How can we evolve? And, you know, there's another card that popped up, and what we got was the Knight of Pentacles. So enjoying that time alone, not looking at it as, oh, always me, I'm by myself. Looking at it more like, okay, I'm doing okay on my own. I'm all right. I need this. And you guys will understand when you get to the end of January, the beginning of February, you'll be like, yeah, that was a funky month. And last but not least, I have my Pisces. Okay. And Pisces, you guys seem to be getting a little bit more serious about what you're doing in the world, what your dreams are, what your aspirations are. And it seems like things are really starting to kind of come and become a little bit more within reach. Socially, maybe you're finding that you're taking stock in what needs to come and go out of your life. It's like you're making your checkoff list and deciding, you know, who's going to get cut from the team. Remember that you're going to be most like the people you spend most of your time with. And I know that sounds kind of judgmental, but it's like if your social group is not making the cut and not matching up with where you want to be going in the world, then it's okay to make some changes. Okay? Surround yourself with like-minded people who are goal-oriented, because that's really going to help you, especially if you want to be around other people who want to help others, if you want to make a difference in the world. You know, join a club or an online organization this month. Do some deep connection. And, you know, compassion is the key word for January for Pisces. Your career is experiencing some major expansion, and, you know, you're moving into some territory where you can become much bigger and better and more recognized for the job that you're doing in the world. But sometimes it will require you to grow into some new skills. So all year long, Jupiter is allowing you to enjoy what you're doing out in the world. But financially, you know, this is also going to be an excellent time for you as well, as long as you're in alignment with what you really want to do. So at the end of the month, around the 21st, the full moon solar eclipse is bringing the attention to your health and to your diet. My question is, how does your body feel? How are you feeling? If you're feeling sluggish, mix up your routine a little bit, consider a dance class, something a little bit more expressive, but don't overdo it, and take the last week or so of January to really get some extra sleep, to meditate and reflect on the year ahead. You're also one of the signs that's going to feel like the new year is coming more in February. Let's see what card we get for you. Okay, here we go. Ace of Wands. It's a good card. New creative energy. A energy that is creative. It's a project. It might be something that's really starting closer to March, April. It's a fire energy. It's about the first bloom, the first blossom, the first bang of something that's going to be new and expressive and fun. I also see this as being something that is very much tied to your creative endeavors. A lot of Pisces are going to be noticing this year that now is the time to really kind of put in the extra work to be able to be a professional creative or to finally take that jump from doing something creative and making it work a little bit more full time. So if that's something you're passionate about, you kind of believe in it, work with fire elements, work with lighting a candle and setting your intentions, make a list of something, toss it into a fireplace, let it burn. Work with that energy, and you'll start to see, if you start doing it now, closer to about March, April, it'll actually start to begin to come to fruition. As always, I love doing these videos for you guys. I'm really happy that I'm back. This is my resolution, so this is why I'm getting it out there in the new year. I'm definitely going to be doing some more videos. I'm actually going to come back soon, and I'll do a what the fuck Saturn video and tell you guys what's happened during my Saturn return for the past 6 months. But for now, we've got this video for the month ahead, and some of you guys have already probably seen my 2019 overview video, but you can expect more of these. I'm going to start doing one for the month ahead every month. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to check out the link below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a very happy January, and I'll see you in February. Take care. Bye.